What's going on, all you Nike enthusiasts? Your two favorite Michael Jordan enthusiasts are back tonight, and we're talking about Ben Affleck's brand new film talking about how Nike came into prominence and signed the GOAT, the greatest of all time. We're talking about the legendary Michael Jordan, and that he was the first basketball player that signed with Nike. And this is the film that shows you just, what went into that. It wasn't an easy thing at all. They had a lot of trials and tribulations that they had to go through. And this film that we're talking about tonight and we're going to be reviewing, it's called Air.
I believe in your son. I believe he's the future. And his story is going to make us want to fly. But a shoe is just a shoe. Until my son steps into it.
That's right. Yeah, going back to a really great time for us being young kids, like really young when this was actually all taking place in the 80s. But of course, kids growing up in Illinois being huge Chicago Bulls fans, the Jordan era, man, what a time to be alive and revisiting that with this film and how Jordan got signed with Nike. Nike was kind of unheard of compared to like Adidas and the other companies back then, but this is the one. This is the big deal that changed, the company and Michael Jordan forever.
That's right. And this movie's led by a great performance. Matt Damon as Sonny Vaccaro, this being directed by Ben Affleck. So, of course, he's going to be in this film, too, as Phil Knight there. They're in the awesome sunglasses, as you can see in the tracksuit. But I love these two together. They put their heart and soul in their movies. They pick projects that they care about. And this one, like you mentioned, hits close to home, being huge Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan fans, seeing everything that went into signing him. I had no idea about the history of this. And this film lays it all on the line, and it does it with a beautiful 80s soundtrack with, hit after hit, soundtrack that I've been playing on Spotify over and over again the past couple of weeks, and I can't get it out of my head. It's got some great tunes in it. But yeah, I loved how the soundtrack accompanied each scene and gets us right into the story. You have Sonny Vaccaro, Matt Damon's character, who's, going after, they want to sign somebody to really put Nike on the map, and they have their list made and come to terms, and they really want Michael Jordan. But the problem is he's being sought after by several other shoe companies, really big at the time, Converse, and you also had Adidas. They're also going after him, and they have more capital, they have more money and more notoriety. So it's going to be hard as hell for them to land one of the, best up and coming basketball players of all time. And they're going to have to pull out every trick in the book. And they do it by working together and, sharing. Along with Sonny, you have Rob Strasser, Jason Bateman, Ben Affleck, Phil Knight. It's just a great cast from top to bottom. They're dealing with Jordan's agent, Chris Messina, playing David Falk. And then you have Jordan's family, who we don't really see Michael Jordan or an actor's face on the screen. We kind of see Jordan from the side, but it's mainly Michael Jordan's mom who is working this deal, talking to Sonny, and that's played by Viola Davis, who was handpicked by Michael Jordan. They asked Michael Jordan in the making if he had anybody that he really wanted, to play these roles, and he suggested Viola Davis. He wanted to play his mom, and I thought she knocked it out of the park. Great role here, having to, talk to Matt Damon's character and get everything working, get these meetings held, and where they were able to come into Nike and kind of see how outside the box these people were thinking and putting together, and the kind of the rules that they went by. They had these a top 10 list of these rules that they made at Nike, that they were trying to follow. And that's what really brought in Michael Jordan in the end, was them thinking outside the box, going far beyond what they should have, had to do at that time in order to do it. And, really setting the template for Nike to take over from the other shoe companies after this. But a really awesome story and some great performances. I love Matt Damon in the role. He really, portrayed Sonny Vaccaro as this really likable guy, really, really cared for the company of Nike and really fought to get Michael Jordan. He really believed in him. He watched him play. He saw that Jordan not only wanted to be an MVP and be the best player, but he wanted to lead his team to the championships year after year. And he believed in him, and who knew if that was ever going to happen. Basketball players can get injured and things can fall apart, but he saw something in Michael Jordan. He knew it was going to be greatness and he fought to get Jordan for Nike.
Yeah, I love that whole scene with Sonny, the whole story behind it, why he's trying to sell to, Jordan's mom and get it to Jordan was really great. And, he believed it. It was in his gut. He had a really great feeling about this. Like, Jordan's the one. All these years later, looking back, it's pretty funny to think about that. Like,
yeah, man,
there's a possibility it couldn't have happened. He could have went to Adidas and we wouldn't have the Air Jordans that are like the biggest shoe probably in the world right now. That has been forever. But it's a really compelling story. Also, some really great performances in this film. Chris Tucker, I haven't seen him in a while. I used to love him back in the day.
Yeah.
Howard White, he was like the Nike NBA liaison character, and then you had Marlon Wayans playing George Raveling too, which was a big part of the team trying to get Jordan with Nike. So it's just a lot of great, outstanding performances in this film that really sell this. And also just going into a story I didn't know too much about. I knew about Air Jordans, but the whole making of that, how that all basically happened was really great. I thought Damon, Affleck are great as always, and the rest of the cast is really solid. Great music, really pulls at your heartstrings, really great story, and a movie I highly recommend for sure. So that being said, I'm going to give the film Air, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 Ben Affleck hair pieces.
I'm trying to think. I think this is probably my second favorite Ben Affleck directed film now, behind The Town. I think Air surpassed his other ones. He's directed some great ones, and really love his performances. You can tell him and Matt Damon love what they do, and they really crafted something special here. Like you mentioned, a couple of times I almost was kind of choking up with how everything came together and how they brought this back and how Jordan delivered on his promise, and just changed the world, really. I mean, if you think about it, he's in his 50s now, pushing 60. He might even be in his 60s. I don't know. I want to say he probably is in his 60s, actually. But yeah, still the Air Jordans are still, the top selling shoe of all time. And he's still making them year after year. And he's getting the profit off that. He's getting a cut off of every single shoe that he sells. And there's been hundreds of millions of shoes. So you can imagine how much money the guy has. And it's all because he believed in himself and his mom believed in him. And look what he produced, winning 6 championships. It's just amazing. MVP year after year, being an Olympic champion. He's just, phenomenal. He's the greatest of all time. Everybody has their GOATs list, but it's definitely Jordan. And I love seeing the story of how everything came together. They really went into a deep dive. They showed even the production of the first Air Jordan and how they were trying to get the design right. And when you see the first shoe and what they came up with, it looked, spectacular. Like no other shoe looked before. The very first Air Jordan just looked awesome. And yeah, I had a blast with this movie. And that is why I'm going to give Air a 4.5 out of 5 Sonny Vaccaro hair pieces.
Ooh. So to hear from all you Jordan enthusiasts out there, what did you like about Air? What didn't you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Check out these NBA enthusiasts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, cinefelds.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews.
We want to review some more Chicago Bulls related, movies and shows. There's going to be a Dennis Rodman movie that is supposed to be being made within the next couple of years. That's going to be interesting. All about him going to Vegas for that weekend, and Michael Jordan having to fly there and kind of get him back to the team so they could win. That'll be an awesome story to see because, Rodman was a wild man, and just another glimpse into that whole dynasty of the Chicago Bulls and what we grew up with. But this was a great story, a great job directing by Ben Affleck, great performances, everything about it. Had a blast. A movie for everybody, a movie everybody could find something to really enjoy. And, even if you don't watch the Bulls or didn't care about sports, this movie had it all. So we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you guys think of Air. Thank you so much for watching our review of Air. And until the next time, I'm Uncle Henry Hill.
And I'm Uncle Logan Jordan, signing out until the next movie review.